Welcome to All Things Social Security. Enjoy your video. Good morning, afternoon, or evening. Stephanie Joy here with All Things Social Security and the law practice of Joy Disability. So I hope you're all doing great. Just making a short little video based on some questions that I get probably every year, but here's the latest. It was about taxes on lump sum back pay for disability. The question was, is it taxed? And if so, are taxes taken out automatically before you receive it? Is it taxed, the lump sum back benefits? Possibly. If they are taxed, is it taken out automatically before you receive it? No. So let's get into it. When you get a back benefit, it sometimes reflects months, not just in the current tax year that you'll be paying taxes on at the next tax cycle. Sometimes it is the culmination of a few years of back benefits, right? The SSA is not going to take the taxes out. They have no idea what tax bracket you're in. They don't know if you're in the zero tax bracket. That's not their purview. That's only your purview. So yeah, that's Tasha. You know, unfortunately, when I have my background on, she can't be seen. So anyway, I'll try to have on next time. So when you get a big back, let's say it is a few years back, that's when it gets more complicated, because you can have it where the months of the back benefit that pertain to, say, 3 years ago, you can have that taxed if you're going to be have it determined if it's going to be taxed based on your income during that year, not this year. This year, you got this big lump sum. You could potentially be in a higher tax bracket. They recognize that the money was retrospectively applicable to prior months due long ago. And so it applies to that year. Now, you do not have to, is my understanding, and you got to talk to a tax professional. This has been my understanding for 20 years. You do not have to go and amend, say, the 2023 tax return because you got some additional income that pertains to 2023. Rather, there is a method that the tax professionals use. I do not know exactly how it's done and where it applies, but I'm sure there's worksheets or something that they use. And I know it's definitely prescribed under the law that they can separate out each year's portion and go to that year, because you probably had, let's say you had no income that year because you were disabled and not working, ergo why you got the back benefits for that year. Then therefore that portion of your back benefits would be attributable to a year when those SSD benefits would not have been taxed to you, because your combined income, which is the phrase that the IRS uses for Social Security benefits, and whether or not they're going to be taxed and in what percentage, that'll give you, okay, that 20,000 is not taxed. Well, what about the 20,000 for 2024? Maybe it's 22,000 because of the COLA. Well, I wasn't working then either. So guess what? That's not going to be taxed either. And then 2025, another 24,000, say, by the time you get your benefits. If it was 20,000 plus 22,000 plus 24,000, what is that? 66,000. If you had that this year, possibly depending on other income, if you have a working spouse or whatever, that might be taxed. Some of that Social Security might be taxed. This way, it's very possible that none of it's going to be taxed, because only a certain tiny bit relatively would be apportioned to 2025 if you're in 2025. Okay, so I think that covers that part, right? The back benefits, you definitely want to take advantage of that apportionment if you're otherwise going to get whacked with a $66,000 increase in income. And if you're in a high tax bracket for other reasons, maybe you started going into your 401k or something, you're going to want to eliminate that. Now, a lot of people aren't taxed at all because the combined income rule, and you can look for that, guys. It's really easy to find. Just Google it, IRS taxation, the combined income for Social Security taxation or something like that, and you're going to get the page. Half of your Social Security is not even counted towards the combined income. I think it's half. So that really helps someone who even has, say, $30,000 in benefits one year, whether they're back benefits or prospective benefits, assuming not high other income elsewhere due to spouse or, investments or anything else, won't necessarily see that taxed at all, which is good. And I think they say that only slightly less than half of Social Security beneficiaries are taxed on their Social Security. Slightly less than half, so nearly half, but then slightly more than half is not taxed. And that's the lower income bunch of us. Now, if you have a working spouse or you have a working spouse and your Social Security is enough that you know it's going to tip you over with that combined income, the combined income amount is pretty low. It might not be a bad idea to have tax withholding out of your prospective benefits. You can't really do that with your retroactive ones, not your back benefits, but your prospective benefits. And the SSA will accept, I think it's a W-4. You can Google that too, guys, but you can fill that out and they will start withholding whether you want 10% or something less. I don't know how high it goes, but you can have that withheld so that you don't have the risk of owing at the year end. I know some people say, I'm not giving any of my money up before it's due at tax time. I get that. I do get that. But if it's going to put you in danger of having a bill that you can't pay, you might want to consider it. Or if you're the type of person that just always spends and you need an extra way to make sure you don't spend some money and you can get a refund, that's another way. You remember, money saved is money. It's like income in a way, because when we don't save and we spend too much, that's where we get ourselves in trouble. So I'm all for the withholding because it will come back to you. Yes, it'll come back interest free, but it definitely beats having a tax penalty. Interest and taxes on an unpaid tax bill. So anyway, whichever you choose, it's a free country still a little bit, but take care of your taxes, guys. I will, as long as we have them and we have to, take care of them. I'll talk to y'all later. Have a very Merry Christmas. You're probably not going to see this possibly till after Christmas, but hopefully before the new year. All right. Take care now. Bye-bye. Hello again. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was helpful, if not just a little bit informative. In the event you have a Social Security question you want addressed, please feel free to make a comment below and ask the question, even if nothing to do with this particular video. And just a quick, again, reminder, we have our daily video shares and tips around noon every day of the week. And on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have our live Q&A session where you can come in live and enter your questions in the chat. And we all pretty much have a good time for an hour or two. I look forward to seeing you there, hopefully. And lastly, don't forget about our benefactor memberships. They're very reasonably priced. The first one is very nominal and you get a few perks, but on a bigger scale, it contributes to us being able to fulfill a mission of assisting certain people with representation that would otherwise not be able to get it. We look forward to continuing to do that. And so far it's working out like the bomb. So thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Bye-bye now.